Hey, how's it going, Witt?
I'm bad. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. Welcome back, man. I'm glad to have you on again. It was always a pleasure. I said I'd probably get you back on here, so glad we can do it again.
Of course, man. Happy to be back here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem. Actually, the reason why I was going to start calling you Witt is because one of my teammates, or excuse me, one of your teammates I was talking to, I was like kind of setting up the podcast. I said, "Hey, I'm having your teammate Jason." I was like, "Yeah, no one calls him Jason. Just call him Witt." I'm like, "All right, all right."
Who's that?
I think that's Devin. Yeah,
Davin, yeah, Weber.
Weber. Yeah.
That son of a bitch. Yeah, no. Look, call me Wit. A lot of people call me Jay Wit. I don't know. I never had a nickname. Then like somehow out of nowhere, I just started getting like people just call me random name like Wit, Jay Wit, all kinds of stuff. So I ain't mad about it. I'll answer to whatever. I don't care.
There we go. There you go. Oh, I could have called you the Vanilla Gorilla. I mean, I could have called through a whole bunch of names at you, but yeah, what's cool. Yeah. So let's just get started here. So how's training with the COVID affecting everything?
Yeah. Fortunately, we haven't had a lot of issues with COVID.
Oh,
It
okay.
just there was like 2 weeks where the gym was shut down just because the COVID hit pretty bad there. But
Hmm.
other than that, we've been hitting the gym hard. I mean, we've all been really just kind of in the gym grinding, no matter what, COVID or not. We're doing what we're doing. You can kind of see that with us taking short notice fights.
Hmm.
All,
Yeah.
all the all the fighters getting wins in the UFC and outside the UFC. The gym staying prepared, and that's kind of what we're doing. Kraus really made it a point that when everybody else is kind of with COVID, they're kind of coming down. We're trying to ramp up, like so we're going to get ahead of them with
Hmm.
with
Well, and exactly, and I think it's really good that your gym's doing that because again, I mean, with COVID and fights canceling, I mean, I think there was last card, the one fight I really wanted to watch, that fight got canceled. I think it was Robertson and Maverick, and it, there's always these opportunities for people at your gym to take these opportunities to take these fights, and it's good. I mean, if you look at a lot of these other fighters, I mean, you got some fighters in 2020 that were fighting like 4 or 5 times. It's crazy. And they're taking all these short notice fights.
yeah. Kevin Holland really made a name for himself,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
and
I
I
think we were thinking the same person. Yeah.
yeah, I got to meet that dude in Vegas one day. He's a pretty cool dude. So I mean, good for him. He's definitely capitalizing on that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's really dependent. Like you can either say, oh, COVID, COVID screwed me over and I can't train because of COVID, or you can just do what you got to do what you got to do to win. And I think that's what we're doing. That's what Kevin Holland's doing. I think they're just taking advantage of stuff when people are not trying to take advantage of stuff.
Hmm. So, like, would you be kind of open to last minute fights, or does it kind of have to be the right fight to make? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that depends. At 170, I'm open to. I mean, I took a fight on 48 hours notice, so
Right. Yeah.
I'll take short notice fights. It doesn't bother me at all.
Hmm.
There's talks me going to 55. That's going to be a little more of a weight cut. So
Of course.
we'll have to talk about that. But yeah, at 70, man, I'm open to fight whenever.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind me asking, but how much weight do you normally cut just to go to 170?
I usually walk around like 185,
Okay.
187. Nothing huge, nothing crazy. It's not. Once it gets into like 2 weeks out, like kind of like right now, like I'll be walking around like 85, and then I'll cut sodium and not cut too much weight. It's really not that
Hmm.
hard of a weight, so it's not
Well,
not bad.
because typically like a 15 pound weight cut's pretty typical for any fighter.
Yeah, I think a lot of people cut around 15 pounds, but I'm not even like I could cut sodium for 2 days and make it a 9 pound weight cut. So I mean that's
Wow.
not too crazy. I don't walk around super huge. I don't walk around super heavy, but I think that plays in my advantage too. Like when it comes in the third round, comes in the later rounds, I don't have to cut a lot of weight to get to that point.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, that's why I think a lot of fighters, and I think every gym should follow suit about staying ready. I mean, of course, I know it's a lot of dedication to stay in shape and to always stay disciplined. But when it comes to like COVID era, man, I mean, you got to stay ready because you never know when that opportunity comes. I know, actually, I think the fight, the card that you're fighting on March 13th, I think that was supposed to be. Geez, what's his name? It
Uh,
was number two rank and the Hemjet, the Chimaev guy.
try to,
Um,
Leon Edwards. They're supposed to
Yeah,
fight.
Leon Edwards, and now you got that Muhammad guy coming in. I was like, wow, like that. What an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you gotta take the opportunities that are given to you,
Hmm.
and training at Glory MMA and Fitness, it's almost impossible not to stay ready. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
work ethic we have in the gym, the work ethic we put into everyday training, it's hard not to stay ready.
Yeah, and then that's one thing I really noticed because again, I was kind of making a joke with Weber about how like, yeah, well now I got Jason on here and I got L. I'm gonna probably I gotta look up how I'm gonna say her name, Lel, but yeah. So I got Wegman on tomorrow actually as well. So I was making a joke. I'm like, yeah, I got like half the team. So the more I dug into your the gym, it really does appear that you guys have a really close knit, hardworking team.
Yeah, and that's kind of makes it special. We're not
Mhm.
the AKA where it's huge kind of corporation gyms. We're
Yeah.
at the best, we really are a tight knit family kind of gym, and you'll walk in and you'll see amateurs helping amateurs, pros helping amateurs. Like we're all trying to make each other better because we understand that the better our amateurs get, the better our pros get, the better the upper levels get. The other, everybody gets better at a certain levels, and everybody levels each other up. So it's advantageous for everybody to help each other out, and that's really, I think that's something that's rare to find in gyms, and it's definitely kind of set us apart from other places.
Hmm. And I think there's that idea that even being a veteran like yourself, you can learn new things every day just from someone that's starting. I mean, you see something like, wow, shit, I never really thought about that. You got these kids coming up, working their way up. I mean, they show you things that it's like, shit, I never would have thought of that, and you're learning from each other, and I think that's the important thing as teammates.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we got this kid named Cameron Cash who he's a really good blender of everything together, and that's kind of, he
Hmm.
came up just doing mixed martial arts and like started out wrestling and started doing this, but like he just came up doing mixed martial arts, and he has a really good blend of the game of striking to wrestling, and it's really cool to see. And even if you don't learn something new, it reminds you of, hey, okay, this I can do this, or he shows you this is different than what you're doing, and even, I mean, he's an amateur. You're still learning something from amateurs every single day, so it's cool to see that in the gym atmosphere.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and for sure. Now I just kind of want to move on here. So you do have your upcoming fight with Matthew Semelsberger on March 13th. So what happens?
Yeah, if you watch my last fight, I really believe it's going to be very similar to that.
Hmm. I agree.
Check him down. I'd like to carry him across the cage. So I guess that's kind of my signature move now, and I'm not
Hmm.
mad about yeah, I really think it'll be a good fight standing up. I think he's more of a striker standing up, more of a kind of brawler, Muay Thai type guy. But
Hmm.
game plan: put him in his cage, take him down, hold him down, kind of just beat him up a little bit, and finish him on the ground.
Yeah, and what's kind of been like the preparation for this fight? Like
Uh,
what is excuse me, sorry, what's the preparation been like for this fight?
yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. We do a lot of wall work, a lot of James Krause has his whole wall system that we kind of go over, and it's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
paid dividends for all of us. Preparation's just been just training hard. I mean, I've put a lot of work with Grant Dawson, who's a UFC lightweight and 4-0. I mean, he's a phenomenal grappler.
Hmm.
Put a lot of work with Julian Marquez for his fight too, because I was similar to his opponent, and he's kind of
Right.
a lot. So I train with a lot of guys who are bigger than I am, and just putting a lot of work in the intent of what I want to do in the fight.
Okay, okay. And so you're gonna see this more defined is definitely gonna be more of a grappling situation for you.
Uh, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, that's
You never really know how a fight's gonna go, right? I mean,
no, true, 100%. You don't know how a fight's gonna go, but
yeah,
you have what you want to do. And the thing about me is I'm good everywhere. I don't have a
yeah.
specific, oh well, I'm bad here, I'm good here. It's I'm good striking. I have good striking. I have good footwork. I have good wrestling. I have good jujitsu. But I'm also good at blending all that together. So like if the ground doesn't go well, I can strike. If the striking doesn't go well, I can put all that together. So really,
Hmm.
like, it doesn't matter where the goes for me. I can put it all together when it comes time to do it.
hmm And you haven't fought since October of last year. So how excited are you to kind of get back into the game?
Yeah, super excited, man. I'm used to taking kind of short notice fights,
hmm
uh, camp, 4 week camp, stuff like that before I made the UFC. So super excited that I get actually time to train for like you saw my debut. I made it on 48
Yeah,
hours notice way, but then you saw the result of what I had with a full camp. So with a full camp,
absolutely.
4 weeks behind that, a couple months behind that, I really make strides in the gym, and I'm getting better every day. So it's really exciting to be able to go put what I've learned to the test.
Yeah, and I guess like since you haven't fought since October, it's now going to be when you're going to be fighting. It'll be March. So did
Yeah.
was that something like was that your decision or is that just how it worked out? Did you want to fight earlier than that?
I kind of want to fight earlier than that.
Yeah.
I was like January, February ish, but
hmm
it's the way it played out. I put a lot of faith in my management system, Iridium, Joe Wooster, Jason House. I put a lot of faith in them with my hands in their career or my career in their hands. So it's whatever they say goes. I never turn down a fight, so they ask, I just say yes, and then we go from there.
Right, right on, right on. So yeah, let's just talk about your last win for a second. So how did it feel to finally like, you were kind of touching upon that before, but how did it feel to finally kind of showcase your finishing skills since you took a last minute fight prior?
Yeah, it's one of those kind of indescribable feelings.
hmm
Like I knew when we were in there, and I knew after the first round that I had to beat. I mean, I mauled the dude, and it felt good to do it. But it's one of those indescribable feelings that you'll never get back. Like you can never get your first UFC win back. That's the first one. It's the only one that can ever
Yeah.
happen. The only thing that would top that would be like a UFC belt. But to get that first UFC win, like I just remember the emotion. Like there's pictures of it. I shared on my social media of me just like screaming, like blood dripping down my face, and it's
Yeah.
super. I love seeing that. But man, it's just a validation of what all the years that I put into it. And I took the long road here. It wasn't like I was like 6-0 walking to the UFC off no losses. Like I took the long way to get here. So it
hmm
really validated that I belonged there. That I knew that what I've been doing this whole time is what I should have been doing.
For sure, for sure. And does that kind of give you some more comfortability inside the octagon now?
Yeah, I mean, it really does. I think that'll play a big factor in this fight. I know Semelsberger, he's 7-2, I believe. Not a lot of experience. I think I've had
Mhm.
3 or 4 times as many fights he has.
Yeah.
Definitely going to play into the cage, and I really think it'll really showcase what my experience can do in terms of being in the cage. It's
hmm
different.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the whole thing about being a veteran. I mean, I hate when I'll watch the fights with the guys and someone will comment like, I'm trying to think of a really good veteran that's aging too much. Like they'll look at guys like Anderson Silva. He's like, oh, Anderson Silva's gonna get his ass whooped. I think actually it was on the card that you fought on when he fought Hall. I
Yeah,
thought he was fighting really well. And people are commenting like, "Oh, he's gonna get his ass whooped. He's too old." And it's like, yeah, but like, look at the vet, like the whole idea about being a veteran, like it plays a big factor. People don't understand that.
yeah, you're a lot more comfortable. You see things coming that are that
hmm
are and you've been in situations that you're more comfortable in, and
hmm
there's not a lot of situations in fighting that I haven't been in. You're not going to put me in like a submission I've never seen before. You're not going to put me in a position I've never seen before, and so that really plays a big factor in winning the fight.
For sure, for sure. And I guess there was an interview that Matt was in with James Lynch, and he talked about in the interview how he's going to be the one to bring the upset on you. So how would you respond to
Good luck.
that?
That's why it's a fist fight. That's why we're doing this to see who, if he wants to bring the upset, that's fine. But uh, he can say that, I can say this. It's all going to come down to what happens that day. You know what I mean?
hmm
And I can say I'm going to win, but when it comes down to it, well, on paper it says this, but let's see who actually shows up on that fight day. And I believe I will. I believe I'll show up, and I'll TKO him in round 2.
There you go. And just lastly, so I know you're focusing on this fight at the moment, but depending on how this fight goes, how the outcome, how everything works. So How many times in the octagon can we expect you, or how many times can we expect to see you in the octagon in 2021?
Yeah, that really all depends on, do I go to 55? That'll be a lot less because like I won't be able to take a short run of fights.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy. But if I stay at 70, um, I'd like to fight 3, 4, 5 times this year. Like no problems.
You're
Every other
gonna
month, that's fine with me.
you're gonna pull up Kevin Holland.
That dude's making some money, so I ain't mad about it. I'm all in.
There you go. No, money's never a bad thing. Um, but yeah, Jay, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do your interview. I know you got some things you got to do pretty soon, so I appreciate you coming on, and good luck with your fight on March 13th.
My man, appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. Good
Thank
talking
you
to you.
very much. You too, man. Take care.